Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome to some Hold My T replays. First up, we have Matthew in the T30 on Canal. T30 is not a tank I receive many replays from, actually. I get some every now and again, but it's such a good tank. It's one of the best tier 9 TDs. It does have low DPM. That was just a good... That shot there, that was a blind shot. And what a shot. And even Matthew there, like, yeah, sure you hit me. Out of everyone here, you hit me and I wasn't even spotted. So the T30, I absolutely love the T30. And it's so much better than the E4. The E4 is actually a disappointment when you go from playing this and then you get the E4, because this is just so much better in every single way. It's pretty much the same gun, but it has the turret armor, whereas the E4 doesn't. It has that big, massive hatch on top, where this one is a little bit more difficult to penetrate. And of course, this one, you come up against tier 8 tanks, just like Matthew is doing here. It's such a nice tank, and if you haven't played the T30, it's definitely a tank worth grinding. It really, really is. It doesn't have the best DPM, but it does have that big alpha gun. And if you can get the HE shots, just like Matthew's going to do here against that poor T54 lightweight, then it really does pay off, and DPM doesn't really matter. So this game, he's on 2,700 damage, and it's not like an amazing game. He does the damage, but he holds it really, really well. He does get some lucky. He does get lucky in towards the middle of the game. But at the moment, his team are losing. It's well, goodbye T49. It's now 4 against 6 now. There is 2 Foshes. Now, the Fosh in Tier 9 is actually a really good tank. It's not as good as the Tier 10, but it is just as strong. And when you're up against Tier 8s, I used to really love the Fosh before it got nerfed quite some time ago. It was probably my favourite Tier 9 tank before it got the nerf. But it's still a nice tank. So he's going to hold this, and he's lost half his hit points already. And here comes the Fosh. Now, what he's going to do here, he can see the Fosh aiming, and he just ever so slightly turns his hull, and that manages to get a bounce from this guy. That was probably a match winning. That bounce was probably match winning, because he would have been a one shot by now. He would have probably been dead from that T49 shot, who actually failed to HE him. Matthew's not going to fail. He's going to HE him. 829 damage done to him, and he's now bringing it down to a 3-on-2. Now, one of the tanks left alive is an IS-3 that is only a one shot, but the T92 E1 is full hit points. So that T92 is capable, that tank there with full hit points is capable of carrying this game if he starts using his brain. He's full hit points and he manages to take out that IS-3 defender. What he decides to do is sit on the cat, which is the wrong... I mean, it's a 2 versus 2. One of these tanks is a one shot to him, and the other is another missile, but it's a 2 shot. So if he wouldn't have just sat there capping, then he could have actually won this game on his own. But he now chose to stop capping and head towards these guys while they are both there. And what a wrong decision, but what a nice shot that was. Nice fire shot, and the T92 manages to clear him. 3 kills each for these 2 guys. The T92 didn't do really much damage, but Matthew does 6.6k damage, and that game actually looked quite easy for him. He managed to get a few nice HE shots to pump up that damage. 10 out of 10 shots fired, shots penned. He made the most of every single shot. Next up, we have Kintek in the 121B Invincible. Invincible, I love this tank. It's not as good now as the 121. But it has been buffed, a slight buff to its reload a couple of updates ago. It's still a nice tank. It really is still a nice tank. I still enjoy playing the tank. But for me, at the moment, there's no really point playing this tank when I do have the 121. Unless you're just doing sort of ×2s, or you just want to earn a little bit of credits. It's a tier 10, so it doesn't earn fantastic credits. But this game, Kintek it's one of those games where it shouldn't be a win. It should not be a win at all. But Kintek holds his own, and he doesn't panic. And that is what wins him this game. He doesn't panic. It's not often when you're in these kind of situations which Kintek is going to find himself in. It's when you know you've had a good game as well. It's kind of hard to hold your nerves. And I'd say probably 8 times out of 10, that's usually what makes you lose the game is when you start making rash decisions that you wouldn't normally make in a normal situation. But when you're sort of, your heart's pumping, you're shaking, your hands are shaking, you start making these little errors where Kintek doesn't. And that is what is going to win him this game. So at the moment, there is the Sheridan up there, which he's going to try and get a shot. It's a good tank to get rid of. This was before the update as well, so it is at its most OP. And he also now spots the Waffle, which he gets a nice HE shot. So there goes the first tank, the KPF, on the enemy team. So it's now 7 against 6. But at the moment, Kintek hasn't got too much options to choose from. He needs to... It's a medium tank. All you need to get your shots off. It's got good, medium tanks have got good DPM, but you can only use that good DPM if you've got the shots. Now, he is going to start making the move, and the Waffle is going to get rushed by the standard B and himself. He's all on his own at the back here, and his hit points are going to go down ever so quick, especially when one of them is an auto reloader. However, Kintek does manage to take him out for his first kill. He's now on 2,200 damage, and it is 5 against 5. WZ1115A Hurry says him, these mediums need to get around, and they have to get around quickly. But by the time they get there, there goes the FE4005. The T55A there is a one-shot. Nice target there to get rid of him, bringing it down to now a 4 versus 4. Personally, I would have flanked around more. Instead of in this kind of position, I would have probably flanked around a bit more, but it could have, and it might have ended up being the wrong decision. I don't know. But at the moment, there is 2 tanks to the left, him there, and then there's 1 tank to the right. So I would have definitely gone round to the right, because you would have probably taken the attention. Even if you do no damage, even it just gets spotted, as long as you are hiding, you might have taken the attention. Now, that was unfortunate, but that was a nice ammo rack, and there goes the standard B. So all of a sudden, it's a 2-on-4, and his last remaining tank is a Death Star. So yes, the Death Star might be able to do some big damage, but he's not got the reload, he's not got the hit points, but he has to do some damage before he dies. For this to be able to be a win, he has to get a shot off, even if it's only 1 shot. He can clear this chieftain with 1 shot if he focuses, but he's getting deleted, but he does manage to clear the chieftain, and there goes the Death Star. So now it is a 1 versus 3 situation, a 1-2-1B, a Jaegeru, and of course that Sheridan from earlier. So he gets that nice shot off on the 1-2-1B, and then he goes to relocate, and he's on 4k damage. He's on 4k damage. He's lost 700 or so hit points, but this shouldn't be a win. He gets a nice shot there, nice high roll, 438 high roll into that Sheridan. The Sheridan misses, and the Sheridan is now on a 1 shot. So he now needs to relocate. It's a small map, so the other 2 tanks are going to be around very, very quickly, especially as one of them is a medium tank. And now he is going to start going for the Jaegeru. Gets that nice shot off again, 361 alpha, nice roll there to bring his damage to 4.9. Now he is going to get a shot again on the Jaegeru, and he's going to relocate. There's no point staying here when 3 tanks are going to rush, but he's going to wait just a little bit longer, which would a great decision, because he does manage to get the shot off without taking a shot in return. And now he is on the run, doesn't want to stay there, he wants to get out of there. And of course there is the Sheridan, takes a nasty shot, 559 damage. That was such a, he really could have done without taking that shot. But now he's a 1 shot to the Jaegeru, but he wants to focus this 1-2-1B. Gets a nice block there and brings the 1-2-1B down to a 1 shot. And what the 1-2-1B does now on the enemy team is pretty good. I mean, he's not risking anything. He's waiting, and he's at the position now where, yes, he's very low hit points, but he is literally cuddling up to that Jaegeru. And even though our guy Kintek wants to take care of him because he's a 1 shot, he can't really do much. He can't push him because he's in the position right next to the Jaegeru, and that was a nice dodge there from that Jaegeru. Now, I personally would have took that time to rush that 121B. He's doing a great job, that 121B on the enemy team. He's very low hit points, but he's still being so effective. He's actually bringing Kintek down to a one-shot. He's on 6,800 damage, and both tanks now are a one-shot. It's whoever makes the mistake. Oh my god, they both make the mistake and they both miss. That was a perfect opportunity, but they miss. Again, Rush is there, and that was so lucky because that was the wrong move, and he managed to get such a lucky bounce from that 121B. But he does manage to take him out for his 4th kill. Now he knows that he can have this guy. He hasn't got the gun depression, and he can get under his gun. Well played, very good game. He kept his cool, but a few mistakes at the end, but he manages to pull off the win. 7,086 damage. Nice Kolobanov. 1,687 base XP. Last up, we have the T95E2, which is the American Tier 8 medium tank. It's kind of like the Chieftain T95, but a medium tank and American, and it has that big massive hatch on top, which has been buffed along with the Chieftain T95's hatch. But I just think this ain't the best tank. This isn't the best tank in Tier 8, especially mediums. There's so many other mediums that is better than this tank. The hatch doesn't help. The hatch doesn't help. But what we're going to see here, this is actually a Hall of Fame game in this tank. And I've had this replay a while, but I never really used it because, not because I didn't want to. It was sitting in my email, and I actually thought that this was the T92, the missile tank. So when I see the damage, I thought, I just, at a glance, I just thought, another missile. Yeah. It's okay, good damage, I mean, but nothing we haven't seen. So it just stayed in my inbox. And just before the update, I see it and I thought, hang on a minute. This ain't the missile tank, it's the Tier 8 tank. And when I see the damage, I thought, wow, actually, this has to be used because it's a really good game. So he's going to make this tank look really, really good. And it's not really, really good. It's an average tank. I mean, it's not a bad tank, but it's not a good tank. And he's going to make it just look an insane tank, and he's going to make it look that it's got armor. It hasn't really got much armor. I mean, the turret's quite bouncy, except for the hatch. Now, the hatch was the one that got buffed, but it's still not. It's not amazing. It's not amazing. So there is one tank down a piece. Now, the IS there, he gets a nice shot on the IS, and the KV4 also misses. I don't know if they was both shooting him or not. So he gets a nice high roll there, and at the moment, his damage is 2,163, and they really need to take care of this T49. You can see he's hold down, and he does manage to get a troll bounce. So 2,100 damage, and he is going to make the mistake there in trying to get that shot on the KV, but does get shot in return. Now, the enemy does have, I think they have 2 T49s, and if they both rushed together, they could do big damage. I don't even think they have to get around. They could probably shoot HE at the side of this thing. Maybe not the hatch now. Since the buff, it can't really be HE'd, but he's going to push the T49, which is a great decision, and he gets another troll bounce, and you can just see that little wiggle of the track managed to get him that troll bounce, and he is rushing this guy. He knows this guy is on a long reload, so he's going for the HE to bring his hit points down as quick as he possibly can, but he's not able to take care of him. He's not as quick as that guy, so he decides to turn around and he's going to try and deal with this T34 2G FT, and again he gets another troll bounce, so he's up to 1,600 block damage, which for this tank is actually really, really good, and he does manage to bring him down for his teammate to take care of him. But now it is a 3 versus 5. Still a lot of work to do. The IS there is very low hit points. The KV4 there is the KV3 is very low hit points, but there is still the 2 T49s out there somewhere. One of his team is a one-shot, so he's going to be dealt with very quickly, and it will probably be a 2 versus 5. And there goes the T49s, and they do take care of the Tiger P. So it's now just him and the Tiger 2 left. He is going to rush the T49s. They're not actually in a platoon, but they are actually working really well together, and he sees this opportunity. He saw this opportunity to rush these guys. He can take a shot, and he probably is going to have to risk taking a shot to take care of these guys. And he was going to go for one, and again, he gets another troll bounce. That poor T49 is just bounced 3 shots on this guy, and he is now going to be able to just about reload before this guy and take him out to bring it down to a 2-on-3. Does take a nasty shot there. I think that was from the IS, which is such a shame because now he is a 1 shot and it's a 2 against 3. 4,500 damage so far, so already he's done a really good job for this tank, and 2,200 block damage. Still a lot of work to do. Being on 133 hit points, there is still a lot of work to do, especially when you have to try and get these shots off on heavy tanks that are hull down. It's not a good job, and it's not easy to do when you literally have no choice but to snapshot. But he does manage to clear one of them. So it's now a 2 versus 2. We know that the IS is around there somewhere, and I think there is the KV4 that is also around there somewhere. And both of him and his Tiger 2 are both 1 shot, so he needs to be very, very careful. This KV4's got great armor, and he's got plenty of hit points left. The Tiger 2, I like what the Tiger 2 does, and he's getting close, and he's actually got behind. And because he's got behind, that now means there's 1 tank behind and 1 tank in front. So he's taking the attention of both of these tanks, so he can take... I don't know why that KV shot there. What are you doing? Why are you shooting? So it's now a 1 versus 2. 1 versus 2. God knows why these heavy tanks, if they don't want to go chasing medium tanks, they should have started capping a long time ago. And that was a nice shot, and the IS has resulted in shooting HE, which brings him down to 77 hit points. But he has now managed to bring both of these heavy tanks down to a 1 shot. And again, that was a nice bait shot there from the KV4. So only 55 seconds left on the clock. He's on 5,800 damage. 3 kills, but he needs to take care of this guy, and he's rushing his shots, but he has to rush his shots. He can't expose himself for too long. He has to risk it. 40 seconds left on the clock. Do you want to go for the draw, or do you want to go for the win? Nice shot there, and he's bring it down to a 1 versus 1, and the kind IS, the IS hasn't done much wrong this game. He's baited a few shots, he's been there, he's been doing damage, but he decides to cap. Even though there's not a lot of time left on the clock, he decides to cap, which was the wrong choice. Maybe he done it to bring him to him, but there's a lot of angles to come from, and if you look here, thank you very much. 5 kills, 6,000 damage, 2,200 block damage, and that is a Hall of Fame. Well done, Speed Cuba. Thank you for sending me that in, and thank you everyone for sending me those replays. I'll be back probably during the week with some more replays, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. With